Grace Over Grit and Grow, the podcast where we celebrate women's journeys and we empower each other to thrive in our personal lives, career, and businesses. We're two women who are passionate about connecting with and inspiring others in our community. So, welcome aboard. I'm Alita Anderson.
And I'm Monique Fisher.
And today we've got two special guests.
What are we doing?
So, for the month of June, we're highlighting fatherhood. So we thought we would kick it off, or during this month, we had to make sure that we gave a special shout out to the fathers in our lives.
Yes.
Not our actual fathers, but our husbands. So we have Mr. George Fisher.
Hello.
And Teadric Anderson.
Right.
And we kind of are paired up. That's Monique's husband. That's my husband.
Yay.
So welcome. Thank you both for agreeing to be on the podcast.
So you get to see the men that support us in our journeys. Every time we come up with an idea, I'm not saying they don't question, but they are always there to support.
Definitely.
Yes.
We have George, we lovingly call our IT guy.
Yes.
And then T is the one who's on us about tools and putting things together and making sure that we're properly equipped in the office.
Yes. So everybody has their role.
Yeah. And like Monique said, a special shout out because as we move fast in our real estate business with opening the brokerage, with kicking off this podcast, with the events that we have, we definitely couldn't do all the things that we do without your support. So thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Monique, you can kick it on off. We'll start off.
So as you know, this is all about, fatherhood, right? And so I want to kick it off with a question about how your role has I'm not going to say changed, evolved as your children went from that younger stage to becoming and being adults. So what's the role like now that they're older, they're in that adult realm?
Mm-hmm.
What is the parenting like? What has it evolved to?
Well, watching them grow up from babies, of course, I got a chance to see everything. So I just had to make everything that I do in front of them and to show them from the way I treat their mom, the way that I go to work, the way that everything that I do in life, I wanted to give them the right ideal or structure of how to do things the correct way so they wouldn't make the same mistakes I made.
Okay.
So with that being said, seeing them today, I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm just going to say.
Come on now. That's what this is about.
Thank you for throwing me in there.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
I am proud of each and every one of them, and in their own different ways too. So that is.
Yeah, because they're all unique.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
But you've seen that
Yes.
evolution.
Yes.
And George, how was it for you? Your children are 26 and 31.
Yeah,
So
31, wow.
What is that like?
I guess it's from the beginning, like when you first starting out, you don't know a lot. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what to expect.
Mhm.
And for me, right now, I think it's like cruise control with some little advising.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like T was saying, I wanted to make sure they had a good example of how they should behave and how they compose themselves when they go out in the world. And so I think, I'll follow up and say, I think we did it. I'm not going to just claim all the credit, but we did good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in the lives, I will say this, in the lives of men, in the lives of girls, is so different and extremely important to that confidence and self-confidence.
Yes.
And then men being there for their sons. I don't think, as mothers, we do what we can, but it's nothing like having a man as a role model in your life. So yeah, it is. You've both done a great job in showing that. And part of it is just in showing up every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that speaks volumes. So I love it.
Mm-hmm. And over the years, what would you say? You can start out, George. I'll switch to you. So what are your years? Over the years, what would you say the definition of being a father? How has that changed or evolved for you?
Yeah, like I said, I'm in cruise control now. It was a little more direct and hands-on when they were younger, and giving them the idea of it's not just you in this world, and you have a certain responsibility, and when you're young, they don't necessarily know what you're talking about. But as they get older, I can say that I remember. You remember when the tsunami hit? Okay. Their auntie had given them these piggy banks, and they had like separated the coins, as quarters, nickels down, whatever.
Yeah.
Here they come with the piggy banks and all their toys in bags. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Well, Dad, we want you to sell the toys, and we want you to take these piggy banks and take it to the people. And I'm like, well, okay, I told you that you want to be helpful, but you don't have to give everything. You don't have to give them everything. Just be helpful. So, so they I had to see that they don't take it so literally. So.
And those are fun moments, because at the end of the day, I think the goal is just to have not only people think sometimes of financial or wanting to live here, this degree to this. It's really to be good humans, to be good people overall. And then T, for you, what would you say? How would you think your role has changed over the years?
My role has changed. I'm gonna piggyback off George, because I'm gonna say in my younger years, I was pretty tough on my oldest son. I could see myself like pounding him about basketball and pounding him about certain things. And through the years, I've loosened up on Bryce and Kennedy. You know what I mean? So and Mom had a lot to do with it, because even in the basketball world, with me on TA the way I was, she would just sit back and let me do my thing. But when Bryce came along, I had to kind of know, hey, Mom over there in the corner watching, don't talk to him like that. Why you talking?
But there's different personalities too.
Okay.
The kids are different personalities.
Right.
So that same thing just didn't work. Because, y'all know Bryce. Y'all know TA. So, yeah.
So at the same time, I seen myself through the years letting go some of the toughness and still, teaching them the way they should learn it, but giving them a little leeway other than the way I pounded on TA. So,
yeah, that's always a joke, because he'll say, for instance, remember back when he got his first cell phone, remember when they had the favorite 5 or whatever, or you could call it was free after 7 p.m. He was like, y'all don't know anything about that. When I got a cell phone, I could only call 5 people, and it had to be after 7 p.m. They're looking at him like, what are you talking about?
What?
We not doing that.
I had to manage it. So it changes.
But I like what you just said too, Alita. But different kids, you parent different.
Yes.
You don't even realize that you as you learn who they are and their personalities. Everything doesn't work across the board.
No,
now that's how we was raised.
Yeah.
It was one thing. That's it.
It was one thing.
And then you're gonna follow this, but when you know better, you do better. And as you have different children with different personalities and styles, you have to parent a little bit different. And so, that's a lesson for all of us. Right. And I will say, them first kids, it's hard on them first.
The first
I'm the oldest. You're the oldest.
The first kid.
George is the oldest, and I'm the oldest.
Yep.
So it is.
So everything was my fault growing up.
Why did you let them do it? Wait a minute.
What do you mean? Right.
My brother skinned all the skin off his arm from here all the way up his arm. It was my fault. Why did you let him do that?
I remember I begged my parents to get an earring. 8th grade, they said no. High school, they said no. When I was graduating as a senior, they said yes. And then they said yes at the same time. So me and my little brother got earrings at the same time. So how does that work?
How does that work?
I had to wait all the way until I was a senior.
He got right in.
Right, he got his in grammar school.
They said 2 for 1.
Right. Well,
We
since
ain't
we
gonna do
taking
it
you,
twice.
right?
Since we taking you, we gonna get him too.
No, I feel like he need to have that waiting period.
Right down the barrier.
Right.
Now I do, because being an oldest child, I feel that same way. And I remember when the kids were getting cell phones, we were saying that they were doing, was it 6th grade? 5th grade, I think, no, 5th grade, they got the phone, and it was this little phone, it was a cool pad. We still laugh about it to this day. So like, you can get that, and if you keep up with it, then we'll upgrade you and you can get the iPhone in 6th grade.
Okay.
So then Bryce, of course, got his first, and then 6th grade, he got his phone. And then I was like, nope, Kennedy, here you go. And she was like, what? I'm like, same thing. I was like, that's one thing I did not crack on, because it happened so much to me. That I'm like, nope, it's going to be these same things. So kept those same milestones. Let's see. So Monique and I have very similar personalities, and I would say that you and George also have very similar personalities. What would you say is like being married to strong, driven women like both of us? Either one of you can answer. Whoever wants to go first.
You can go, George. I'll see if you get hit first.
It doesn't bother me. I think that's my preference, because I don't, I look at these people with these relationships, and the wife won't answer unless the husband. What's going on here with that? And you can tell it's play acting.
Right.
It's not real. But I like, and part of it is I was raised by my mother. I had my father just for a short period of time before he passed. So my mom was strong. So. I don't like the she poo poo or whatever, so that doesn't bother me, and I actually like it, because, I know we're trying to build something, and then that's a good partner to have to build something.
Yes. Well, I'm confident in the man that I am, so therefore I can have a strong woman on my side. So, I mean, it's like, I'm going to do my part, and I'm not even worried about her part. So we good. I'm okay with that. I actually love it. Every man, I think, should have a wife with a strong backbone. So hey, the better the team, the stronger they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think that's the key to it. It's not a one person show. We understand that it's teamwork. And there are certain things, like, for instance, I support the things that you do too, as far as your DJ business and things of that nature. It's not always about me. It's not always about you. We switch it on. It's shoots. Half the time is us chasing after whatever activities kids are in and cheering that on, and just understanding wearing a lot of different hats. But I think when you understand the common goal is a household or it's a team effort, it's really no reason to be threatened by that.
Can I just share a story real quick?
This
was a recent story.
We have lost control. Go ahead.
Speaking of what you just said, how we support each other, right? We were just the other day, and she was telling me that she had a closing coming up, and the home didn't have the amount of smoke alarms, and she was tripping out. I said, girl, give me that address, give me that code to this house. I'm going over here, and we're going to put the smoke alarms in, and we're going to be done. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to make this happen. This is not that hard. We're going to get this done. So Bryce and I got the ladder. We got the truck. We got the smoke alarms. Boom, I called in 40 minutes later. Done. Took pictures. Everything good. Tested. We okay. So that just made me think how she helps me with the DJ side. And if I can step in on real estate, anything I can do, we're gonna make it happen together.
We're gonna have to get you a mosaic vest.
I saw that jacket.
George,
I want that jacket. Right.
So Father's Day is coming.
I had it all on the golf course. Jose.
Oh goodness.
But I could tell a story that you probably modeled behavior that you saw, and I saw that with my parents.
Definitely.
My dad, they had a plan. My dad was gonna go through school, get his stuff and get started, and then she was gonna go. But right before he got his PhD, he passed away. And so my mom, being who she was, said she was gonna go out and be, go out in the work world and whatever and get a job. But she said the best way to do that is to enroll in school. So she went to Jackson State,
Mhm.
was filling out her paperwork, and that's when she found out he had started filling out the paperwork for her and had paid the first semester. So
Oh.
already, so she could get going.
Yeah.
And then she only had to worry about, paying the rest of it. And she wound up getting a scholarship, and that's what got her through school. So I was thinking about that when you have a partnership like that and you try to work together towards the goal.
Mhm.
They had did some house hunting, and everything that he left her, she was able to continue with the deal and buy that house to move us in. So that's so when you see, you grow up in that environment and you start replicating that.
Mhm.
So that's probably where it comes from.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to go back to partnerships too, George had a very technical career. And George, a lot of people don't know, he traveled a lot at the beginning of our marriage. He was gone a lot. And so when we had Christopher too, I'm there with the household, making sure things are coming together. We had just moved into a house. Like when he came back, I had a deck built. Wait a minute. He said, get a deck built, honey.
Yeah, I just said get a deck. I didn't say get that.
I had a deck with a gazebo part put on top of it. But don't need me a little money. I'll make it do what it do, right? I had my dad come, we signed it on a piece of paper and had it done, so.
Sound like somebody I know.
Yeah, so we made it work, but still, it's partnership. When
Yes.
he came back, that was done, So you find a way to make that balance and make it all work. I went back to school while we were married and had kids. He was right there. I was doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even with this venture, with opening the brokerage,
Oh,
we're
my
stepping
goodness.
away from level of comfort,
Yeah.
what you're doing,
Yeah.
and coming in and being able to build something from the ground up. It's some sacrifice, not just on our parts, but our
Well,
households as
on their
well.
parts.
So
Absolutely.
so it has to be an understanding of what the goal is, and I think that stops people from being frustrated or not, because it's not just for me, it's for us.
For us.
So when you understand that, and like you said, everything is a season. I'm doing this now, you might be doing something next. It just kind of goes hands in hand. We do different things, but it's to reach whatever goals we've set together. So that makes sense. Let's see. What would you say? Okay, so to talk about parenting styles. What would you say your parenting style is compared to Monique's parenting style?
Oh my goodness.
Shucky ducky.
I
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. 'Cause
You
yeah,
go
that's-
first. All right. Alita parenting styles is she gonna go all out for these kids, and I'm gonna lean back and be like, really?
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm like, she is so family oriented. Like, when these kids are involved, everything's got to stop. We got to go do these kids. I mean, like Kennedy came. That's why I say, babe, Kennedy's been in 10 different dances. She can miss a dance. She can miss one. No, why? She's great at dancing. Let her go. Hold on. She can miss one. You tired, you run the business, you work your job. I'm working, we all doing this. I'm playing golf in the summertime. she can miss one of these
Right, you
dances.
miss one of them.
She will not let her miss. She won't let Bryce miss, which don't get me wrong, I'm all about them being in activities. I'm okay with that. But every now and then, these kids can miss something. They can miss something. So we can relax so we can get them to the next one. That's all. So her parenting is a little more push, and I'm like, give them a little bit, let them chill a little bit. She is straight push all the way through to the very end.
So who would you say is between us? Who's the disciplinary? Would you say you or me?
I would say you started and I finished it.
I'd say
Watch out.
I agree to a point, but I think it depends on what it is. Some stuff I'm just like, doesn't really bug me. Other stuff he'll be like, absolutely not. I'm like, oh, right. That didn't really bother me. So it kind of depends. And the kids know, because they'll be like, so we were thinking. I'm like, did you talk to your dad? And they're like, well, we got to run that by him. Or vice
But
versa.
that being said, the kids know what to bring to you and what to bring
Oh,
to mom.
definitely. Yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
learn that
Yeah.
quick.
They
learn that
understand what
quick.
to bring to mom. and what to
Uh-huh.
bring
They
to
learn
dad.
that quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Mhm.
Well, I can give you an example that'll tell you what kind of, okay. So Kyle is just starting to get ready and go to school in the morning.
Mhm.
So Monique was the one that got them to school and everything. So you watch them in the hallway running and getting their stuff, and Kyle doesn't quite know what to do. So Chris is telling Kyle, do this, do that, whatever she says, do it, and do it quick. That way everything will be all right. So if you do what she says, you'll come out on the other end okay. So, because Chris had already gone through
Yeah, he was like, I got
now
this
Kyle has
routine.
started. So now it's a routine. Just do everything she says and you'll be fine.
Our kids are 5 years apart. And
Yes.
so Kyle, I started taking Kyle to the school at 5. And so Chris was 10. So he was in 5th grade. Kyle was in kindergarten. And so he was getting added to the mix.
Kyle ready.
And at night you have to lay your clothes out. You got to know exactly what you got to do.
Do what
So he
she
was telling him,
says.
just do what I say, and then it's
Do
a
what she
system and a
says and you'll be
routine.
fine.
You can't have chaos in the morning. You got to go to work. You got to get them where they need to
Can't be helter skelter.
Yeah, you don't want nobody stressed, right? So you saying
No, you were the more
Structured.
structured parent.
Structured.
I like that word.
And I was just trying to get Kyle to do his homework and trying to get Chris to turn his in.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. We have
I don't
that
know
too.
how you have a backpack full of done homework and the teacher never gets it.
Same thing happens in my household.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know one thing I learned as a parent? Sometimes you actually learn
Yes.
what's best for you, but you didn't know it until it happened.
Yes.
That being said, I work nights, and Bryce had gotten in a little trouble, and Elise was like, well, we're not going to get you a car. And I'm saying to myself in the back of my mind, no, we're going to get him a car. I get up and I have to sleep in the morning. I got to get up and take him to school. Then you be at the office, I got to pick him up. I'm like, we can punish him, but that ain't the answer.
We got to find another way.
Maybe he can only drive through the weekend to school and have to park it on weekends. But he needs a car.
Another solution.
Yeah, the car thing has actually been more helpful to us than to him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't even understand that, bro. I really want you to have 2020, 25, whatever it is. So yes, I've learned that sometimes what you don't understand is actually helping you more than it's helping you. Yes.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I let them stress me out a little bit because I'll be like, we need to get this done. Because I'm very, like you said, structured with timeline. I'm like, why is this not done? You only have 3 days. I'm like, yeah, I got 3 days. I'm like, no, it needs to be done because the night before we're going to be trying to figure this out. And then he'll just be like, I'll leave like, da-da-da-da. And they're just sitting there staring at me like I have 3 heads. And then he'll be like, just do it, your mom will leave you alone. Like, just get stuff done. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, really? That's all it took?
So
Okay.
that's Kyle. That's me with Kyle.
Mhm.
Just come on, man. It'll be peace. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. I don't.
I don't either.
When I was growing up,
Peace,
I did
man.
what I was supposed to do because I did not want to hear my mother and father.
Oh,
You
yeah,
want
no.
So I'm like, let me get it done.
Right,
So I don't
right.
understand this mentality. You want to hear me scream or
That-
go off
Right,
or,
right.
Exactly.
Just tell them, man, come
correct
on.
you all the time.
Just do it.
So, but that Gen Z baby, honey, that's a
It's
whole
like
other
water
level.
off the,
Yeah, they do.
They are very laid back.
They laid.
If you all could hear the conversations me and the kids have before mama get in, I'd be like, hey, I just talked to your mama. She on the way home. Get your plate off the counter. Get that fork you left right there.
But you
She'll
know
be in a
this. This
minute.
isn't
Yeah,
like
and
like
they
you
know
know
they
you
should
need
do-
to
they
do
know
these
that,
things.
right.
So it shouldn't even have to go back and do it. Just do it. Like, come on.
Let me tell you this, Tim. I pull in the garage. I hear them running up the stairs. And when I come in, George's sitting on the couch, and I say, "Oh, where the boy?" He's like, "Damn, they was just here."
Just here.
I'm like, "I know, I heard them."
They were just
So-
I'm like, Chris is right there. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, they already know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's funny because although I'm like, I don't want you to be the people that can't function outside of being in our household. Like, So it makes me a little nervous. Like, can you do stuff? But then, like, recently, Bryce did volunteered at the church. He was doing community service hours for school. One of the people from church called me and was like, I just want to talk to you about Bryce volunteering. And I'm like, oh Lord, what happened? So I was like, what? She was like, he was an extreme amount of help. He went through, he painted all the railings. He got all this work done in a matter of time with what the gentleman has been doing this for days. And Bryce stepped up into this. He wouldn't take a lunch. And then he swept this. He fixed that. And I said, I didn't even know he knew how to do half this stuff. I'm like,
When we
what?
went to church, I went back there. I was looking at the railings like,
Really?
He like, all
My son did this right here. He did this.
So I'm like, so you are capable.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just choose not to do it in the moment. So I'm like, that gives me a little bit of
It does.
peace to make sure that they're okay. But it's just funny how they function because it's just not a priority.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. So if you could write a letter to your younger self as a father, what would it say?
I'll go first, George.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. I would write a letter to myself saying that I don't have any regrets about my children themselves, but my letter would say that I wish all of my children were with my wife and I should have waited on marriage to have kids. But since that didn't happen, we were still able to work through it and all my children are in good standings. But that would be the one thing that if I could change in raising my children, it would be to have them all with my wife. That would be my letter to myself.
Okay.
Well, mine would be, you don't know what you're gonna become after those kids. And I think, sometimes you can't see
Mhm.
what's coming.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And like I said, I like the person I am after the kids,
Mhm.
up to this point, more than the person that was before the kids.
Mhm.
And so I would say, it's about to get good, buddy. So get ready and enjoy yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Enjoy that. And we talk about that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Being present in the moment. And that's what this is about too,
Mhm.
being present. And sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, or you're so caught up in things that you just don't see it. And I know I've shared this before. George is the one who always tells me, I'm constantly going to what's the next thing. And he
Mhm.
says, stop and enjoy where you are right now. Because it's pretty doggone good.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's
Yes.
great. Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the things I always laugh about because when we're talking about different journeys and things that I'll be complaining about, he'll be like, that's not really a complaint, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not really an issue. He's like, that's kind of like a top level issue. He's like, that's not really a thing.
Right.
Like you just kind of, he's like, you sound like you're doing a lot right now. Like that's not really a problem. I know you're upset about it, but it's not really a problem.
Let me write you this list of things that
Right. Like, yeah, it's not that bad.
to make you feel
Right.
Yeah. So you do have to just really relish where you're at. One of the things this lady from church told me when the kids were small, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm trying to do this like this. Because Bryce and Kenny are only a year and a half apart. So they're running around doing stuff or whatever. And she was like, you know what? And I think at the time, I think her daughter was graduating from high school or close to it or something. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this. And she was like, oh, just remember, it gets greater later. She was like, everybody has a season, it gets greater later. She's like, you put in this work, you put in this time, and you enjoy it later. We're able to see a little bit of that now that we have a grandson, that which is hilarious because now he's you're talking about TA, seeing the difference between him and the youngest. I'll be like, what is going on? Like, we just have no discipline. Come on now, T. We can't just run a wreck. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
So that part of it is fun too. And I would say too, the relationship of the kids, being able that they are able to, because if they were all together, I don't think you would be like stepsister, brother, whatever. They're brothers and sisters and they act like it and they look out for each other, which I enjoy.
And that's beautiful.
Yes,
that says a lot to you all.
Yes,
marriage and how you all raise them together. Right. And you often say, I'm not trying to be I'm a bonus mom. I'm just another advisor or person there to help guide you and love you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's special. And I think when kids know that, hey, we can all, we all make it work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We definitely do. What was something that was important to you that you definitely wanted to make sure you instilled into the kids?
Something important.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of come out already, but it's to find out the things that you like to do, and then go for them, and don't worry about, it may get hard, you may fail a couple times, but keep going, and don't give up, and don't be afraid to try to do the things that you think you are interested in, that you want to be.
I'm gonna say loving each other and loving their family and just caring for each other. Like the love that they show each other is like amazing to me. Like right now, because I remember, I'm gonna share another little small story. I remember as when Bryce and Kennedy was kids, if Bryce was to do something, Kennedy would come in like, "Hey, Daddy, Bryce did this. He need a whooping. You should see what he did." I'm like, "Kennedy, what he did?" She'd go on telling me whatever. But if Kennedy is in trouble, Bryce would come in there and he'd be like, "Dad, Kennedy did this, but can you please not get her? Don't get her, Dad. Don't." Not so. Still to this day, I tell them about it, and Bryce be like, "I remember that, Dad. I remember it so well." And I be in my room thinking like, Kennedy just don't love me the way I love her. He's like, she just throw me under the bus. So I be like, I'm just like, man, you guys, I want you all to love each other, love your parents, love your grandparents, and they are really loving kids into their family. They love their family. So that part.
I remember that too with them being a year apart in school. Just one day, Bryce came home and he was like, "Mom," he was like, "I'm so hungry." And I said, "Well, why are you so hungry?" He's like, "I didn't get a chance to eat lunch."
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Why?" He said, "I was going to the library and I seen Kennedy's class in the lunchroom. And for some reason, she was standing on the other things, on the other side of the table." He's like, "So I left the library and I went to go see what was going on." He was like, "And then I don't remember whatever the lunch person's name was like, you can't go in here because it's not your lunch." And he was like, "No, something's wrong with my sister." Because of it, she was like, "You're gonna get in trouble." He said, "Well, ma'am, my mama told me if something happened to my sister and I don't find out what's going on, I'm gonna be in trouble." He was like, "So I'm only here for a short period of time. I'd rather be in trouble here than at home." So he was like, "So they sent me to the office, so I missed lunch." So I was cracking up. I said, "Well, Bryce, what happened?" He was like, "Well, her stomach was hurting, and they said that they was trying to call the nurse, and they couldn't find the nurse or whatever. So it ended up being not a big thing." But he was like, "But I remember what you told me. You make sure there's something wrong with your sister. You find out." And I was like, "Yeah, but I still want you to eat lunch."
Yeah, I want you to have
They
lunch.
are
Yeah.
close. They are.
It's the whole, don't do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do what you can, but don't do the whole thing.
Right. So let's see. What advice would you give to younger men that are entering into fatherhood?
You want to go first, George? Go ahead.
Have you told DJ anything? Or
I haven't
you
told
came
me
in?
that.
Okay.
Not yet. I haven't. Yeah. That's a tough one, but I would say, don't beat yourself up. Don't try to be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes because you don't know anything. And
Right.
When you first become a parent, you don't know. Anybody that says, "Oh, I know how to do this," it's not like that. But take time to enjoy the times that you are in, and learn patience, a little bit patience, because sometimes you got to remember it's a toddler. Toddlers gonna run around or whatever. Things get broken in the house. So I never made a big stink about that kind of stuff. I remember one time Kyle came to me and he couldn't even get the words out. He was crying so hard and doing his little lips. I said, "What happened?" I was playing Chris's drum and I broke it." And I looked at it, I said, "It's a drum head. You know what, Kyle? Drum heads break when you play them.
Right.
You didn't break it. It's just you got old and you have to replace drum heads. So just have some, enjoy the time you have because it goes by faster than you think.
It does.
And then have some patience. And then also open yourself up because you're going to learn, things that maybe you weren't aware of as you go along that journey.
Yeah. Well, I would say, if you're about to have a baby, to the young men, I'd say, hey, take in every moment because it's gonna go fast.
Yes.
You don't want to miss anything. I mean, before you know it, they're gonna be 5. Next thing you know it, they're gonna be 10.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they'll be graduating high school, gonna need a car. Hey, while they're young, take it in and enjoy the moment.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. Don't be like, oh, I want to change them pampers. No, go and change that pamper. You're
Do
gonna
the
miss
whole
that.
thing right.
Yeah, you're gonna miss that. Yeah.
So we talk about self-care too. So what do you guys do to just bring it all down? Because I know, got these strong wives, got these kids, all these activities, doing things. What do you do for you just to get your chill time?
Well, the first one that was, I don't know. I used to do car stereo. And I had gotten so far into it that people would bring their cars to me, and what should I do? And I said, well, for you do this and do that. And I used to do the installations and stuff. And then I used to go to the competitions and all that. I never competed with my car, but but I knew a couple of installers that had championship cars, and I got them to work on my car. Because once I started doing that, then I didn't do my car as much. I would take my car.
I came home one day and my car door was on. It was separated from my car. I was like, "What is happening? I'm trying a new system, baby. I'm trying a new system."
Yeah, I had her doors off. I had the seats out the car. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But the now what I'm doing is I got a bunch of small fish tanks, and I'm raising shrimp actually. So
wow.
So that I just do that, that lets me chill. Is no stress or anything like that. So that's what I do.
Okay.
Well, I got a special place. It's called the golf course.
There we go.
And to be honest, my wife a few years back bought me my first set of golf clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not my first set, but bought me a updated set of golf clubs. I should say.
Because he had golf.
Yeah.
How
I
many
used to
years
golf
ago?
when I was around.
And he kept
13,
saying,
14.
I'm gonna get back into it.
Yeah.
I want to get back
wow.
into it. So then
Yeah,
for his
okay.
birthday one year, I surprised him. I'm like, why don't you
Okay.
just go get the things? And he was like, I'm gonna wait. So then I was like, all right. I think it was your birthday, father's
Right.
birthday. And I was like, let me go find something, put it together, and created a monster.
And now through the summertime, I'm at least there 4 days a week.
Wow.
Cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
That is my getaway. Right
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I enjoy
that's
that.
important. Everybody
Yes.
needs something
Yes.
Mhm.
that
Cool.
to go off to and do your thing and just have some chill time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other advice or anything else that you guys wanted to share?
Come on, George. I like those kid stories. Give me another kid story.
Kid stuff.
But I would say this about George, what I love too, is that it took time, but he found what was unique to both boys. So Christopher, if you know him, he's a musician, and George is a hell of a musician. He won't expound on it, but he is. And so he's really truly given that talent and gift to Chris and really nurtured that.
Oh, nice.
And then Kyle, and then George can fix stuff. And so Kyle has the gift of fixing things. That boy can, he's good. And he's a gamer. And they have all that
video games.
I don't even know what all the systems are anymore. So with each of them, he has something unique.
Nice.
And so it gives them each
find out
quality
what they're
time
good
with
at,
them.
and then you focus
Yeah.
on it with them.
So I think that's pretty cool.
That is. I think all the kids have a little bit, all of them have a hint of T. So TA, I would say probably the most. It's just like his twin. His twin in so many aspects. They have a lot of love for cars, to do different things together. Bryce is very matter of fact. I think that comes from you. That comes from you.
Yeah.
And he is like the most nonchalant teenager that you will ever meet. Like nothing moves him. And that's like, it's funny because he doesn't say much, but then when he does say something, kids are like, what's going on? Dad's upset. So that's just kind of the same thing with Bryce. Like, I'm gonna say what I need to say, and that's it, and that's all, and that's it. And then Naya and Kennedy, I'd say Kennedy has a little bit of your personality. You don't think so?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, you look like you didn't think so. And then I think Naya too, as she tries and does different things, like with the shoes, like you do the cars, building, and she's trying different things out too. So they all have a little bit of you in there. It's kind of funny to watch because they'll be like doing things and they'll kind of try to get his stamp of approval, like, Dad, let's do this. And they'll jump in and do projects and stuff together. So that's kind of his lane.
Yeah, you say yeah. Good. Well, I have enjoyed this.
Yes.
I didn't know what they would go say.
I know, it's a little nervous.
It was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So we didn't know. But it's all good because we both know who we're married to and we love the men in our lives.
Yeah.
We couldn't do what we do without them. And it's nothing like having a support system in this journey of life. And as we go through different seasons and phases, you know, they're right there with us. You know, questioning sometimes, maybe looking at us a little side-eye, others. But nevertheless, they are always there. And
we love you all too.
Yes,
and we are so proud of what you all have accomplished.
Absolutely.
Man, we are
stopping out
really
and doing
proud.
this.
Yes.
We feel it. We hear y'all.
Feel
We
it
see.
and
We know that you all.
Yes, and I'm glad to have a business partner who thinks like I do. A lot of times I be on these journeys thinking, am I crazy? But I got a partner who's very similar to me, so
very.
It's all working out.
It really is.
It is, and it's just been a fun journey to be able to see, and it's nice for not only us on the business side to be able to get along, but then just to truly enjoy like the people that you work with as a whole outside of business too. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that.
And to gain a friendship.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, George likes tea. I think tea likes George. Let me share this right quick, because as I started making more friends, you know, being more in the community, George sat down with me and said, "Look, don't be making no play dates with me with no men. And don't be bringing their husbands around.
It'll happen
trying to figure it just gonna happen or it ain't. But don't be sitting up and going to dinner with I mean, he was serious.
I don't blame you, George.
And I was like, wait a minute.
You know, you go to these things, men sitting at the table like they at the kids' table. You know.
Oh God.
It'll happen. You know, that kind of stuff will happen.
Yeah. So we appreciate the organic.
No, I think Mosaic has really brought nice family together.
Yes.
So
and you guys are really wowing everybody. Trust me.
Yes.
I can see it in their face.
Yes, absolutely.
The people that come and actually see what you all are doing that didn't really have the confidence that you would do so well, they all come in and they're just like, oh look at this. Yes. So that's a really good feeling. It is.
Thank you.
We thank you.
We're proud of you. Yes.
Well, thank you. There's only more to come. So
Yes.
buckle up.
Buckle up. That's right.
Well, thank you for taking time out. We wanted to make sure that you guys not only, you've seen us each week, you get to know my personality, Monique as well. So we wanted to make sure we brought in the people that support us the most, which is our husbands, so you get a chance to meet them too. So as usual, we thank you for tuning in, and we'd like for you to go to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And click the subscribe button.
Yes. We love the comments that if you have questions, feel free to email us. All that information will be in our bio, so you can reach out. You can tag us, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So we look forward to seeing and hearing from you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.